Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You know who I am. I'm here, I'm on, and sorry I've been away for so long. Connection's been a bit dodgy. Weather's not been great in Ireland and all the rest of it. But we're connected, I think. And yes, gloriously, we are connected and back. So the news has come out. David Price has decided to bring Dave Coldwell on as his new trainer, as head trainer. Talk to me, people. I I have a problem with this, but before I have a problem with it, first of all, to all those David Price fans, I'd say I'm still a fan of David Price. It's good to have the big man back. I know you'll say to me that, you know, Tony Thompson and Tepper both failed drug tests. It's been very fair on David Price. Okay, given. So, well, let's put those defeats to one side. And I know that the whole of Liverpool are going to want David Price back, especially with the fact that there's a Londoner hogging all the press at the moment, all the media. He's not even world champion, Anthony Joshua, because of the whole Sky Sports hype room job. But anyway, to me, the linear heavyweight champion of the world remains Tyson Fury. And until the man is beaten inside the ring, that's where it remains. The IBF title, as we know, was stripped off of Tyson because he wanted to face the best man in the world in a rematch. So Anthony Joshua's fighting for a title against Charles Mine. Okay, I get it. April 9th, they're fighting. That's not what this conversation about tonight. The conversation tonight is about David Price. So good evening, Mike Tyson's in the room, no doubt. Tony Bellew is influential in Dave Coldwell and Price wanting to work together. And Michael Redmond, good evening, sir. Great to see you back, sir. Well, the connection, we hope, will hold out for this session. Now, like I said, this is no disrespect to Dave Coldwell. This is no disrespect to David Price. Well, no, this will sound pretty disrespectful to David Price. Now, this is another comeback. Remember, David Price got knocked out by Tony Thompson. Okay, it didn't go well that night. So he made another comeback. But then he got done by Thompson again. So then he had another comeback. But then he fought a string of guys that we expected him to beat. Didn't look that great. And then he got knocked out again, did he not? So, and then so he make another comeback. Now, let's put things in perspective here. David Price, as turning over as a pro, he decided to take Franny Smith on to be his trainer and his man to take him from the amateurs to the pros. Listen, you want to become heavyweight champion of the world. It's not just about having a big punch, despite what a lot of boxing fanatics would believe. The sweet science is not just being able to throw a punch, it's being able to take a punch, it's being able to avoid punches, it's being able to put yourself in the best position to throw punches and to ensure that you don't get hit with too many punches. The sweet science of the sport. And that's just one aspect or side of things. You know, the trainer, the nutritionist, all these things are about having all the know-it-all, what you need to do to become heavyweight champion of the world. Lennox Lewis made a mistake, got knocked out. Best trainer at the time for him was Emmanuel Stewart. Emmanuel Stewart had a great team around him, not just himself. You know, and that was really the make. Even though Lennox Lewis had all the talent in the world, he was still a flawed. He had lots of very amateurish style, and it was Emmanuel Stewart that honed this talent, brought the talent out, which Lewis already had, to make him become a world heavyweight champion. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm not convinced in Joshua's trainer. Yes, Joshua's big. Yes, he's strong. I think he showed vulnerability in his last fight, but that's another discussion altogether. Now, so you use your amateur trainer to take you pro. Okay, I understand the whole heart pulling thing, and you want to be loyal. Okay, keep the guy in the back room. Don't make him be your lead man. Okay, so you get knocked out by Thompson. It didn't work out. This was the guy training in the corner was telling you to go out there and knock out Thompson. You got chinned. And even in the rematch, he was encouraging you to go and knock out Thompson. So, okay, you get knocked out by Thompson. Okay, you make a mistake. Okay, nobody's perfect. You make a mistake. You come back. You go into an immediate rematch. An immediate rematch, which was suggested by a lot of the British boxing public. Go back and watch a tape. Listen to people, the experts in Box Nation. Listen to people who were backing Price before the fight. Even I backed Price to knock Thompson out in the first fight. I did, right? And it went wrong. And after I saw that, I thought, you know what? Thompson's going to beat him in the rematch. Thompson will beat him in the rematch. He went into an immediate rematch. He then went inside to get Lennox Lewis involved. No disrespect to Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis, as a champion, as a fighter, great. But as a trainer, has accomplished zero, zilch, or as Lennox would say, zippo, nothing, nothing. And if you want to look at Lennox's track record as a pro trainer, he had Price, got knocked out. I think he trained Manal Shah, he got knocked out by I think Breedis, the guy was named. He sparked. Shah got sparked horribly. So not a very good, and he actually lost as well. I think Shah lost to Duhaupas as well, I think, if I'm correct, or Tepa, one of the two. But anyway, a fight that Shah was meant to win. But anyway, moving on. Lennox Lewis says the reason why him and Price didn't get on really was because Price was prepared to make the decision to commit to training in Canada. Now, this is something I said to David Price via a video. I said, David, you need to get yourself a sports psychologist, and you need to get yourself out of Liverpool, and you need to get yourself away from Liverpool, and you need to base yourself in America or Europe. Get yourself a top quality trainer, top quality sports psychologist, and a world-class team around you, and you can become world heavyweight champion. He kind of did some of those things. He went out to Europe. He had the Sauerlands behind him. So that was sounding good. And he got Tommy Brooks, a world-class trainer, far better than Franny Smith has never achieved anything that Tommy Brooks has done. Tommy Brooks has trained and worked with some of the legendary fighters, you know, from Evander Holyfield to Mike Tyson to Lennox to the Klitschko brothers. So he knows about heavyweight boxing, heavyweight history. He's been in the gym and he's trained champions. He knows what it takes to be a heavyweight champion of the world. He's got a history of heavyweight champions. Okay, he knows what it's about. He's been in successful teams. He knows what's right, what needs to be done. So when Price brought Brooks on, I thought it was a brilliant, brilliant move. And I could see the fundamental changes. Price tucking his hands up, rolling with punches. I could see there were little changes about Price. But then I spoke to Tommy Brooks. I said, Tommy, what's going on with Price? He said, listen, I give Price something to do. Price goes, when I leave Price, he goes and does his own thing. So Brooks left Price and went to China. He's getting paid more money. And Brooks probably said, you know what, this guy won't listen to what I've got to say. I'll do my own thing. So Lennox has said that Price is questionable about his commitment to the sport in terms of not prepared to leave Liverpool and wants creature comforts. What's this gentleman's name? Brooks has just said it. Now, Brooks is as credible as anything. And then now, what happens? He gets sparked by Tepa. What's he do now? Goes into retirement, goes into, you know, where he retires. He comes back and he's making a comeback with Dave Coldwell. Dave who? Okay, he's done something with Tony Bellew. Fine. And he's with Jamie McDonald. Fine. That's at the low weights, and that I don't really care about. That's good for Dave Coldwell and good for him. But it's inexcusable. You've been knocked out numerous occasions. You've got a chin problem. You've got a defensive problem. You are a huge puncher. You have some Olympic experience and you're an experienced pro. You're not an amateur now. You're not a raw novice in the pros. You are an experienced pro. But you seem to make these really dumb decisions. Dave Coldwell, you want to become heavyweight champion of the world. So what does that tell me? You want to stay in Liverpool and be with your mate Tony Bellew, so you and Bellew can get on. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think Dave Coldwell is any good for Tony Bellew. Frankly, I don't. because I think Tony Bellew looks sluggish. He still doesn't know, in all the time Coldwell's been training him, still doesn't know how to throw a right hand properly. Okay, so, but that's fine. Let that go on. Bellew hasn't been sparked 3 or 4 times. Bellew hasn't got a question mark over his chin, or he's fragile. No, he hasn't got that. Right? But Price, Bellew's career is not on the line. Price's career is on the line. Price can't afford to have yet another comeback. Bellew's got a world title fight lined up around the corner against Ramirez. So for me, David Price may as well just had stayed in Liverpool, walking around the streets or being on the dole, rather than come back to boxing. Because what are you doing? You're going to do the same old thing again. David Coldwell's going to be beside you, and you're going to fight a few fights against people we don't know about, and it's going to end up all in tears. Because the fundamental thing you need, Pricey, is defense. And Dave Coldwell, no disrespect to him, is not going to teach you defense. He's not going to teach you defense. Not for heavyweight boxing. One shot and you're out. This is heavyweight boxing. You can't be playing heavyweight boxing. But it seems in your decisions that you're making, they are dumb. Just plain dumb. You had Tommy Brooks in your corner, top trainer. So, okay, you may have had this disagreement with Brooks. So then you go back to Franny Smith. What? So you left a world-class trainer to go with Franny Smith. So then you're going to Dave Coldwell, unproven in the heavyweight ranks. Who's he trained in the heavyweight ranks? The only thing I can think is you and Tony Bellew are good mates. So Tony Bellew said, all right, mate, come train with me. What? And you can stay near home. What? Do you seriously want to become heavyweight champion of the world? Or you just want to be heavyweight champion of Liverpool? Because if you want to be heavyweight champion of Liverpool, that's fine. Be honest. Tell the fans and say, look, you know what? I don't fancy becoming heavyweight champion of the world. I haven't got what it takes to be heavyweight champion of the world. I'm not prepared to make the commitment to become heavyweight champion of the world. But I'll become heavyweight champion of Liverpool, and that's fine. Stay in Liverpool. But as fans pay money, who's going to see this crap of you knocking 4 or 5 bums out, and then you're going to go and fight somebody who's going to knock you out again, who's not going to have drugs in them, okay, who will knock you out, because you're not making adjustments. Mentally, you're not making adjustments. So you're making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Poor judgment in trainer. Poor judgments all round. Poor judgments all round. So for me, personally, it's going to end in disaster. I have to turn my back on David Price because you can't keep making this. Or your mate said, let's go. I'll go and train at his gym. What? You know, and the thing is, Bellew can afford to make mistakes. Bellew can afford to make mistakes. Bellew, the difference between Price and Bellew is Bellew's behind hyper room or match room or mismatch room. He's with them. So Bellew ain't going to get too many difficult fights to get him a world title fight. And he's close with Eddie Hearn. So Price can't be looking down them lines. So people talk to me. Come on, talk to me. Right? Stupid, absolutely stupid decision. You've got so many class trainers out there in heavyweight boxing. So many class trainers in heavyweight boxing you could go to. But this guy Price does not want to leave Liverpool. And I feel sorry. I really know who I feel sorry for. I tell you what I feel sorry for. I feel sorry for those Liverpool fans that have backed Price to the hill, that are blinded and can't see the crap that's going on. For me, Dave Coldwell might be a good trainer for Tony Bellew, but you know what's going to happen. But what is the point? As Mike Tyson, some domestic fights out there, a Price out there, Chisora. But what's the point? You're not seeing the best of David Price. David Price may well just stay where he is because he ain't going nowhere. Charles and Lewis in the big fights. Come on, mate. Be serious. This sort of talk is a sort of talk that made Price go and get that rematch with Tony Thompson. David Price, I don't know. I think maybe Price, he's not listening to only Bellew. I think he's listening to boxing fans as well over Twitter. I think he makes his decision over Twitter. I really do. Because there's no logic in what he's doing. No logic whatsoever. Towers is going to fight Dave Allen in a couple of weeks' time. If Dave Allen fights right, he can get Towers out in a couple of rounds. So for me, sorry. I don't support the decision. And I'm not going to buy into the hype train of Price knocking out. I'll tell you how it goes. Price knocks out 3, 4 opponents. He says, I'm ready, makes a bit of noise, gets himself into a fight, or somebody's going to come back and hit him on the chin, and he's going to fall over. Yeah, of course he does. Dave's going to knock Towers out in a couple of rounds. I don't. As long as Dave doesn't try and box David of Towers, and he doesn't get too friendly with Towers, because him and Towers are good mates. Question is, why is Richard Towers coming back? What's his what shape is he in? I know he's been working hard, Adam Booth, but mentalities don't change and chins don't change. And I just think that all that needs to happen is Allen's got to get inside really quickly, land the right hand on his chin or the left hook on the chin, hit him early on the chin, get him out of there. Don't get Towers any sort of confidence. Towers beats Joshua and Martin for me. Right. Okay. Right. Anyway, so yeah, that's my point about David Price. Joshua Martin. A lot of people think Joshua's going to beat Martin. It's going to come down to this for me. If Martin is motivated by money, then I believe that Joshua can become a heavyweight champion of the world very easily. But if this gentleman Martin means business and he's a serious man, and from what I gather from Martin, he's a serious man. All right, Andy, from what I gather from him being a serious man, if he's a serious man, Martin, then this is no walk in the park for Anthony Joshua. But hi, Andy, hope you're well. But if Hearn has slipped Martin some extra money, and of course, I don't. Where's this fight been? Is it in the UK or is it in America? Because if it's in the UK and there's some money being slipped, there's no way I can see Martin coming to the UK and doing Joshua over. I can't see, honestly. But yeah, money under the table. But if at the end of the day, if Martin's a man of principle and he knows, he understands, if he beats Joshua, he's right in there for some huge money. If he beats Joshua, he's in there for huge money. You know, not convinced about Anthony Joshua. I'm sorry. Lomachenko, Walters, great fight. Lomachenko's got great boxing ability. Lomachenko. 300 plus amateur fights. I think he lost only one. Got beaten in his first world title fight. May have come too early, whatever. But he's done well. He's been impressive as a pro. Walters, very heavy-handed, but I think he could be outboxed. I haven't been online much, to be honest. I will check out that interview. What was I? Yeah. Ingram, you've got a lot to talk about, really. Yeah, I have got a lot to talk about, but Rickendale Dickens, I think Rickendale will win that fight. Frampton, Quigg. The thing that concerns me about Frampton, Quigg. Yeah, Hearn's already talked about voluntary defenses. Well, for me, I've said it already. If Martin's a man of principle, he's a man of principle, not a man of money. If he's a man that means business, say, listen, I come here to beat your man, and that's what I'm here for. If he's that kind of a man, Joshua can't win the fight. But if he's a man that's come for money, as far as I'm concerned, money, he says, listen, I'll slip you extra 300,000 or extra 500,000. Because as far as listen to this, Joshua becomes IBF champion of the world. Do you know how much money that man can make being heavyweight champion of the world? They can times up by so much money. As far as I'm concerned, the way I look at it, if it's in the UK, I think Martin will. It's down to his principle. I don't know if he's a principal man. So if I get a chance, I'm going to try and talk to Martin if he picks up his damn phone. When he picks up his damn phone, I'm going to talk to him and see what he's got to say for himself. Am I going to Riggindale bout? Unlikely. When is the Riggindale bout? So I think, is it this end of this month? Because I've got next month, March, I've got a few things. My wife's is a huge event in the Docklands. I'm going to go to that. And that's the same weekend that 3 things happen that weekend. The March 23rd or 26th, around that weekend. I think Superman, Batman is out, the movie, and something else is going on that week. I think there's a fight weekend as well. So, yeah. Yeah, like I said, just to close this thing off again, just to say, I disagree with David Price's decision to join Dave Coldwell. He is not in a position to be taking chances and experimenting with trainers. He needs to have a world-class trainer in his corner. The worst thing he did was get rid of Tommy Brooks. Tommy Brooks is a world-class, proven trainer with a track record. So for me, Price had better just stay at home. Do you know what I mean? And if he's a plumber, being a plumber or electrician, it better have done that, right? Because the decision he's made is shocking. Sorry, that was terrible, wasn't it? Yeah, shocking decision. Why you've picked Coldwell. No, I don't have nothing against Dave Coldwell, apart from he's got nothing proven to say he's done anything in the heavyweight division. So I'm just saying that. Gazzo says Hearn's a shifty twat. Wouldn't surprise me if he did slip a wedge to take a dive like Johnson did. I do agree. Andy Wilkinson says can't see Price doing anything mentally destroyed. Yeah, he's mentally destroyed, and it doesn't help when you're going with Dave Coldwell or you're going back with your old amateur trainer and you're not listening to Tommy Brooks. Though I've got issues with that. So Price is his own worst enemy. If he's making these daft decisions, dumb decisions, I mean, someone needs to manage David Price, and whoever is managing David Price needs to be shot with something, because they are not clever decisions. Not clever decisions. Not clever decisions. The world-class trainer who is actually getting you to fight a little better and showing you how to block and defend, you get rid of. You bring back Franny Smith. You get knocked out. Laid out like a carpet. Welcome. See, the whole thing with Price and Fury, that won't happen. That won't happen. Because going back 2013, I did an interview first with Tyson Fury, and the next day I did an interview with David Price trainer Franny Smith. Franny Smith said that we'd walked through Tyson Fury. Of course, Camp Fury didn't like that very much. Caused a bit of back and forth. You know, the Furies weren't happy. They made it quite clear, vocal through a video. And, you know, then, of course, we've had Frank Maloney in the middle stirring things up as well, saying that Fury was scared of Price. So there's a lot of bad feeling there. And I can't really imagine David Price being the kind of guy that's going to have the bottle to walk into Tyson Fury's gym. Well, so how? I mean, people keep suggesting this thing. People keep suggesting, oh, yeah, Peter Fury would do it. Yeah, Peter Fury would do it. I'm like, hold on a second. Are you missing something here? If somebody been disrespecting your family for a period of time, you're going to just let them walk into your gym? Really? And you're not going to have words with them? What? So boxing's different. You don't do that. See, people talk some real nonsense sometimes. Peter Fury can't help David Price, because he was going to help David Price. It helped him a long time ago when he was offered the opportunity. That is done. Not going to happen. Forget it. Stop dreaming. Not going to happen. Because first of all, you need David Price to come to the gym. So David Price has to come to the gym. When David Price goes to the gym, what? So what's David Price going to say? You can train me, Peter, but Tyson can't be in the gym. You can train me, Peter, but Huey can't be in the gym. And all those people that support Tyson Fury, Tyson's got a close team network there, right? So Price is going to walk in the gym and do that. Really? Really? I don't think so. If you think so, if you really think that, then you don't understand the whole mentality behind Team Fury. Sorry. And all those interviews that have been going on for the years, you're not listening, you're not watching. Peter can say, oh, yeah, it'd be nice, I'd like to have, yeah, I work with him. Yeah, I'm sure Peter would work with him. But they'd have to settle it out first, I think. Exactly. Andy Wilkins says Tyson would lay it on him proper in training. There you go. Peter Fury's not the only trainer in the world. Peter Fury's a great trainer, but because he's a great trainer, he might not be a good fix, and he's not a good fix for David Price. Not a good fix for David Price. So I think Peter Fury is out of the equation. I wouldn't even mention his name. I wouldn't mention his name. Tommy Brooks, let Price do his own thing. Tommy Brooks is a trainer. James Ellie-Bashir, another trainer. Trainers that have got experience, world-class trainers with world-class heavyweight experience. So you've got to have a look for some older trainers for that. What's his name? Oh, Don Turner, another trainer. Evander Holyfield's trainer, coach. So yeah, those are guys. Price would have a straightener with Big John, LOL. See, exactly. So can you really, really expect Peter Fury? Forget Peter Fury for one second. Why John Fury? Ronnie Shields. Now we're talking. Now you're making sense now, Boxing Insight. Ronnie Shields, that's a good trainer. Shields is a good trainer. He's got some heavyweight history. Look, Price has got a lot of good things. People say, oh, he got chinned. Yeah, he got chinned because he's got no defense. Okay? Scott said to him yesterday, what if Hay was offered for Huey? When, yeah, we would be taking a risk. Bye, Brendan. Boxing size, he needs a trainer who can completely turn his style around defensively, similar to Vlad did. Shields injects the attributes to be good. He said he's not sure. We'd look at it. Then I said you would surely be wary of pullouts from Hay, especially the last few weeks and months regarding Huey. He kind of said we'd look at it and then admitted he wouldn't take Hay. Yeah, exactly. Huey Hay, I don't see. Sorry, I can't see it. Huey Chisora, I could see, because Huey said he wouldn't mind fighting Chisora. I've got a video where he interviewed him, talked about wanting to fight Chisora. Yassine, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. If you could be in English, great. Otherwise, you're on your own, son. Ingram, who wins now between Huey Fury and David Hay? Against AJ, Huey Fury. Boxing fundamentals. Joshua's got no jab. First and foremost, Joshua's got no jab. You cannot go through the heavyweight division when having a left jab. And Huey Fury has got a left jab. Joshua's got no left jab. The difference between, I think what you've got there is boxing brawn against boxing brute. Two different fighters. You've got Joshua who relies heavily on power and overpowering you, but there's no finesse and science in what he does. Whereas if you look at someone like Huey Fury, he's not the hugest puncher in the division, but he's great into that. He's got a great left jab. He's got a good right hand. He tucks it quite nicely. He's very loose. He's not robotic. I tell you how Huey Fury versus Joshua would be like Bruno versus Lewis. And I'll explain in a sense. Lucy Lewis is a lot more fluid. He's had a better jab. But the other thing, Frank had a very good jab. Joshua doesn't have a good jab. So I think I would go Huey. Huey, he's got the left jab. He dictates behind the he'll go into the fight pounding behind the left jab. backing Joshua to the left jab and landing the big right hand. And I can't see that fight. I can't see it being actually a decent fight, honestly. Redmond says, yeah, Huey beats AJ much better all round. AJ has power. Boxing removes that power. What does AJ have then? I'm struggling. Bruce Wayne says, it's kind of hard for Huey to get a fight, isn't it? In the end, he'll probably fight another scrub. Andy Wilkerson, people say Huey ain't got a big punch, but those punches weigh down. Hey, listen, I was ringside for Huey's last fight against, I forgot the guy's name again. Larry Olibamewu. I was actually ringside, sitting down next to Tyson's dad, so we sat down together and watched Huey fight. I'll upload the video content anyway of the fight, and it lasted a round. I can't say any more than that, but I think Huey's a class. I've always said it. Gazzo said punch and that's it, but that only goes so far. I've said it, and his punch is overrated. We don't know how good his power is until he's against a solid chinned version of a solid heavyweight. Mike Tyson, did you see the West Indies won the 99s Cricket World Cup? Yes, I did. I got an email via the Grenada High Commissioner today from Grenada. So yeah, so I know a couple of players on the side I've worked with. Nah, shot fighter like Satipin. Now, could we see a Tony Thompson replay with Anthony Joshua? Now, the warning signs are there. The warning signs are there. He got clipped, he got hit with a punch and got wobbled. He got hit to the body and he kind of slowed up. That was the first guy that showed Anthony Joshua any form of resistance. And people said, I'm only looking at those 30-second clips and judging. Listen, when you face against your first piece of resistance, the first guy who hits back, the first guy who takes your best punch and throws a punch back at you, that's how I can judge where you are as a fighter. I can't judge you against guys who are just falling over in front of you. I can't judge you by that. I need to know what you do against resistance. And against resistance, against Dillian Whyte, who was, for me, out of shape and injured, and I said this to people over and over and over again, Dillian Whyte should not have taken the fight against Joshua. He would have been injured. He wouldn't have been ready for the fight. But a lot of you said to me, Dillian Whyte's ready. It's okay. It's a good fight now. You were all thinking about the instant gratification. Now, if Dillian Whyte was in shape and he was ready to go, we would have stopped Joshua that night. Sorry. So you have to take yourself into consideration. You know, a lot of people are writing off Charles Martin, but I would suggest everybody, when you get a chance, go back and listen to Charles Martin's trainer. His trainer is an excellent trainer. Listen to what he says in the corner. Forget about the fight itself with Glasgow. Listen to his trainer, and it gives you an idea of what kind of training Charles Martin's doing, what kind of guidance he's got in his corner. And that could be crucial in the fight. Dillian Whyte had to take it, mate. He may not have got the chance again, and it was good money. I understand your point and agree, of course. Sage Baird says, hello, hi. How are you? Where are you from? So I'm not bought on Joshua. I'm sorry. I'm not bought on Joshua. If you go back to when Frank Bruno fought a guy called Jumbo Cummings, go back and watch that fight. Frank was out on his feet in the second round, came back and won the fight in the end. But it's things like that you see. And you wonder yourself, well, okay, that was against a guy who didn't know much about Oregon. Wow. Yes, Sage. Martin is limited technically, but if he has the desire, he can really do a number on Joshua. I know you say he's technically limited, but are you now telling me that Joshua is technically advanced? Because, and it was, it's not like Joshua has any technical abilities. I mean, wow. Okay, let's break this down. First and foremost, let's talk heavyweight history. Heavyweight history. First and foremost, all the great heavyweight champions in history, the big ones, 6'4", 6'4", 6'5", 6'3", have all had a great jab. All of them. Great jab to work behind, get inside and throw shots. Whether it be Lennox, keep you outside with the jab. Larry Holmes, keep you out with the jab. Muhammad Ali, keep you out with the jab. If you're that tall, keep you out with the jab. You talk about even Tyson Fury, left jab, keep you out. Klitschko, left jab, keep you out. I'm telling you, everyone's knocking Charles Martin. But listen, people are knocking Charles Martin. People knocked Terence Crawford when he fought Ricky Burns and said, watch Charles Martin, watch Terence Crawford do a number on Ricky Burns. Everyone laughed at me. I said to you guys, who was it else? It was a complete unknown. The guy that fought Mitchell the other night. I said, watch this guy go and knock out Kevin Mitchell. Because somebody's unknown, don't take because somebody's unknown for complacency to think he's unknown, he's not going to win a fight. He's not going to win the fight. No, he's unknown. That's an excuse as a boxing fan or supposed boxing fan to go and do your research. Oh, he's limited. Well, hold on. He fought a guy called Glasgow, who is an awkward, terrible fight. I mean, I don't think Glasgow's a great fighter. Yeah, and I'm listening to what Abel Sanchez has told me, and he sees him every day in his gym, and he's watched him train. Charles Martin's a good fighter. Al Heyman wouldn't send Martin to the UK for Martin to lose when they can make millions in the US. IBF said Martin. So that's very interesting. No, neither have beaten anybody to shout about. Indeed. Indeed. I will say this much, though. I will say this much. Charles Martin must hit fairly hard because if you look at when Malik Scott fought Glasgow, Cunningham fought Glasgow, none of those two guys were able to hurt Glasgow the way Martin was. And he was hurting, believe me, he was hurting Glasgow. He was hurting Glasgow before he went over. He was hurting Glasgow. Charles Martin went 10 rounds and Zumara Love, a fighter, Joshua dusted up very quickly. Yeah, okay. So what? What does that prove? So his trainer, who's got a bit of sense, man, said to me, you know what? Why don't you go and practice with this guy for 10 rounds? Go and practice on this guy for 10 rounds. Go and practice with this guy for 10 rounds. What you gain knocking a guy out in the first round? Tell me what you gain. Tyson Fury went 10 rounds against Chisora. But did you know Fury could have stopped that fight in the first couple of rounds? Did you know that? You didn't know that. So I don't buy this, oh, well, Joshua knocked him out in a couple of rounds. Joshua knocked at Kevin Kingpin Johnson in a round. Tyson Fury couldn't do it. Vitaly Klitschko couldn't do it. But Joshua did it in a round. Money does a lot. That's all I'll say to you on that. Charles Martin's only chance of winning is following his namesake and having Joshua killed in a Paris tunnel car crash. Great. Love it when England does that face. Martin is slow and basic. He can obviously crack, but we don't know how good either of them really is. When you're a boxing fan or boxing pundit, what you need to do is go, instead of just saying somebody's slow and limited, go and do your research. Go and do check the amateur background reference. Go check and see the fighter. Watch the guy over 5 or 6 fights and see the things the guy does really well. Oh, he's slow. He's limited. Well, Joshua's got no jab. He is chinny. He doesn't seem to. The body shots he got hit with by Dylan White slowing up real quick. He can't fight well off the back foot. Proven. Open to a left hook. And we don't know how he fights against a southpaw yet. That's unbeaten, 6'6". He's fighting a guy similar height to himself. That's not just going to come and fall over the first time he gets hit with a punch. So I think we need to go and do our research, because you're saying he's slow and basic. That's not what Abel Sanchez told me. So I can't listen to that. This is Abel Sanchez told me, listen, I saw this guy. Sanchez had no ulterior motive. You can say, well, this guy was crap. I mean, he went and told me about Julius Jackson, and Julius and him are close in the gym, right? And he blatantly said it in an interview. So to me, if Abel Sanchez is telling me about Charles Martin, and I will talk to Abel Sanchez and get the truth on Abel Sanchez, on Martin, because I'm not having people saying, oh, Martin's crap, Martin's this, Martin's that, and then when Martin knocks out Joshua, then oh, Martin's good now. No, people need to go and do their research. So I know what I've seen with Joshua. I've seen him enough times to see him do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I know when he's put on the back foot and he gets it on the chin and he's put under pressure, he's not the same fighter as if you let him come forward and throw punches. Simple. Doesn't have a jab, so you can't dictate the fight behind a jab. And for all the big punches he threw at Dillian Whyte, took him 7 rounds to get rid of Dillian Whyte. Graham Box said David Price should call it David, for fuck's sake. I agree with you. Martin's hook is sweet, mate. Very nice. That's good. Abel Sanchez, he's got a left hook that is very sneaky, does throw sneaky punches. He's a bit sloppy from what I've seen, but I can see something in him. I don't like the way he throws punches, though. It doesn't turn his wrist over. So because the trainer said a fight is this and that, that means we're all wrong. Come on, Ingram. No, I'm saying that trainer's watch him every day in the gym, as opposed to us saying he's slow and limited. But I'd rather take it from an experienced trainer who has got some knowledge in the game, a bit more knowledge in the game than us, that watches the guy every day. There's a difference between us sitting back and watching and saying, oh, well, he's limited, watching on television, and then watching someone in the gym and watching him every day. Huge difference. That's what I'm saying. It's all opinions. I'm not saying he's crap. Just think from what I've seen. I've seen a few fights. He's limited on. That's how I've seen so far. Josh, Ingram, who would you back Martin to beat out of Fury, Hay, Joshua, Chisora, Whyte, Hughie, Fury? Well, I think he would beat Chisora. I thought that Hughie Fury was better equipped to beat Charles Martin. I actually thought he was a better. Once Joshua gets KO'd, the fans will drop him like a sack of shit, the same they did with Price and Harrison. I know, but I've said it already, but these people only learn one way or the other. Hello. I think Martin does good body work and those wide hooks and throws from strange angles. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. I'm liking what this guy's saying here. Carl Stevenson. Martin does throw good body work and throws wide hooks and also throws from strange angles. Got a bad feeling he may take Joshua a few rounds and stop him. This is what these are the things that I'm looking at here, because that like the body shots, we know Joshua is, we saw what happened with Dillian Whyte, so we got to think of, okay, how can Joshua win this fight? If you're looking from a British point of view, let's go back and look at how Joshua fights. Any news on where the Fury fight rematch is being held? I keep hearing rumors that Klitschko's going to retire. I don't know if that's true or not. Redmond says Abel's on the money. The knowledge of Shadi Saluki said that Audrey Harrison is a really good fighter. Yeah, well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Audrey Harrison. Audrey Harrison is a damn good fighter, but there's a lot of things you don't know about Audrey Harrison. Right, let's break this down into 4 things. Audrey Harrison, we'll go back to when he was an amateur, right? This is stuff you guys don't know. I'm going to let you into a few things. Audrey Harrison was back as an amateur. Myself and Audrey used to go to the same college together, Tottenham College. And I remember Audrey used to leave college. We used to sit together in class. We were doing the Sitting Girls 481 Recreation Leisure, parts 1 and 2. And Audrey would leave the class, and he'd have to leave early and prepare because he's preparing to fight, representing Haringey. And, he was looking to get into the Olympics, and he was a real big thing in North London. So I'm going to tell you this story. Anyway, Audley, when Audley should have been training as a pro who's living a celebrity lifestyle. Now, his manager then, Hazel Gilbert, who is a relative of mine, managed Audley until she left him unbeaten. Okay, I'll give you an instance for you to think about. Did you know on the night that Audrey Harrison fought Danny Williams that his wife was in the dressing room tying up his bootlaces? And that is all I'm going to say to you. That's it. That's an exclusive right there. That right there gives you a lot of indication as to what was going on in the Audley Harrison camp. Audley wanted to do everything himself. He wanted to promote, he wanted to manage, he wanted to do everything his own way. And Audley Harrison, as much as everyone knocked him Audley's crap, before, when Audley Harrison was doing, after Audley, you had Mayweather Promotions, Hatton Promotion. Audley was the man who was saying, you know what? I don't want promoters and people like Eddie Hearn taking the liberties out of me. I'm going to manage, I'm going to control everything myself. That's what happened. Audley thought he could do it all by himself. And that's what happened to Audley. So Audley wasn't dedicated in the gym. He wasn't dedicated in the gym. He was busy trying to live celebrity lifestyle, manage, promote, and fight. And eventually that catches up with you and you see what happens. The performance have not been good enough. Another story. Audrey Harrison, the £1 million contract. All these people you see on television that you think are so great and so nice, and I've seen evidence myself. Audrey left the BBC. He said he was traumatized after he left the BBC. There were things that happened at the BBC with him, with that whole contract thing, that scarred Audrey for life, that would have given any man nightmares. That's as much as I can say to that. One day this will all come out in the wash. So I want people to understand that Audley probably was a very good fighter, but the external issues of Audrey Harrison are far beyond what any boxing fan, the journalists and those behind the scenes know what I'm talking about. Right. Right, I think everyone's got their own little conversation going. I'm going to come to the end of this now. One final thing I will say, just on this Shagayev Browne conversation, I've never seen so many, especially on Twitter, like people say, "Oh, Lucas, you've got such big muscles. Lucas, you hit so hard. Oh, Lucas, I love those tattoos. Lucas, I love the way you throw combinations. Oh, Lucas, I love the way you smile with your teeth. Lucas, I love that tattoo you've got on your left shoulder. Lucas, if you anybody in the world, you'll knock everybody out. Lucas, if you had that Tyson Fury, you destroyed that Tyson Fury. Lucas, oh, your muscles. Lucas, you're so great. Oh, my good Lord. If you're on Twitter, you will see what I'm talking about. Every minute, there's some belling saying, Lucas, you're just so amazing. And it's just, oh dear. Shagayev versus Lucas Browne. Lucas Browne. Lucas Browne is Marky B. Yeah. Fury would lose to Chisora. Mad thing. What? Yeah, I gave my reaction to Coldwell earlier in the show. I said Pete Price better stay in Liverpool and continue being the electrician. His decision is shocking. That's what I said. Where was I? Yeah, the Lucas Browne Shagayev fight. Like, I've never seen, I don't think I've seen him on Twitter, so many fans that suck up to a boxer like they do Lucas Browne. And I mean, I don't understand if Lucas Browne was a really great fighter and I could understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand. But Lucas Browne is what you call limited. If you're gonna call Charles Martin limited, what are you gonna call Lucas Browne? Like, I mean, if Shagayev's got anything left, not being funny, if Shagayev's got anything left as a fighter, he knocks Lucas Browne out. Yeah, Lucas Browne's a sound man. I'm not sure if his handle of his Twitter is so sound. Shagayev's got anything left, if he's half the fighter that I know Shagayev has been, Browne's going to get knocked out by Shagayev. Sorry. If he's anything that he was. If he's a shot fighter, then Browne's got a chance. Shagayev versus Chisora. Sounds like racism. Yeah, he's a good lad. I've told him a few times. I think he knows it as well, but he's chasing his dream. Limited. He knows that. He says it himself. He's a banger with a chin in his heavyweight era. That's not bad. Lucas Browne is someone you would see on the club door as a bouncer. Well, yeah, it is. And I've got no problems with chasing their dream. And I've got no... Everyone should go and chase their dreams. Don't get me wrong what I'm saying. Mad Ting. I don't know who Mad Ting is, but you just said that Chisora would beat Tyson Fury. Chisora's had 2 goals at Tyson Fury, and it's sad to inform you that Chisora's lost on both occasions. Anyway, yeah, he was actually a bouncer, and then he was in MMA and whatever. He's boxing now. All the best to Lucas Browne, like I said, but nice guys don't mean you win world titles. And third time lucky, Ingram. I don't think so. Sorry. I don't think so. Don't think so. I was close to Chisora for both camps. I was there the day he injured his hand against Usmanov. I saw him sparring against Vac. No, he doesn't beat Tyson Fury. I'm sorry. Sorry. No, doesn't. Yeah, he's mad thing. He's drunk. Ian Lewison might beat Shagayev. Ian Lewison needs to get himself into boxing. Ian Lewison could be a very good fighter, but injuries and all the rest of it. Do you now know something about the Tyson Fury tweet? Which one? The one about him? Guess who he's fighting? No, I don't. In fact, I've been out of the loop so much. I haven't spoken to Peter in ages. I haven't spoken to Tyson in ages. I need to catch up with people. So, yeah, I need to catch up. Tyson's trolling with that tweet. He's fighting Vlad again. Also, Peter said, LOL. Yeah, but I heard rumors that Klitschko's going to retire. Klitschko is extremely quiet. And I don't think he overcomes the nightmare he's having at the moment of not being heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah, I agree. Tyson played with Del Boy in rematch. Could have took him out any time. Tyson wanted rounds because he's out for almost 2 years. Yeah, true. I agree with you there. Tyson's in London at the moment, I believe. I think he was in Derby today, up at the gym with Asgar, part of Team Fury, up at his gym. Yeah, is there anything else pressing I need to talk about before I will Vlad retire? Well, if I were him, I'd retire. Why am I coming back to get knocked out for? Too much money to turn down for me. Well, money or pride? If Vlad won't retire. No way. Really? Really? Is Vlad the person that we all think he is? If you think about how exposed he's been, the gloves, the canvas, the thing in the shoes to elevate him to make him so high as Fury, shaving his sides off. Very insecure man. Very insecure. Blackwell, Eubank, I'll make this very short. I said if Spike O'Sullivan comes in straight lines against Chris Eubank Jr., then he's going to get a whooping. Nick Blackwell thinks that he's going to come forward in straight lines against Chris Eubank Jr. and thinks he's going to win the fight. Forget it. Because he's walked onto the same uppercuts as Spike O'Sullivan. You know what I'm kind of fed up of listening to? Fighters that say, I'm going to do something different. They've watched a fighter fight. And then afterwards, they say they're going to do something different. And then they're going to do exactly what the other fighter did and then get knocked out. So Nick Blackwell, I hope and I pray that Nick Blackwell has some sense. He's not the easiest guy. He's not the hardest guy to hit, Nick Blackwell, right? I hope he's got some sense to actually say what he says and back it up by actually saying, look, you know, he said that he could, there are many ways to beat Chris Eubank Jr. Well, so far, there's only been one way, and that's by Billy Joe Saunders. So, Eubank will batter Blackjack. Well, if he fights the way Spike O'Sullivan did, he probably will. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on that, to be honest, Andy. AJ is more ferocious than Hay and bigger and weight. Yep, we've got a troll in the room. Right. I think I've said enough tonight. Anything else? Frampton, Carl Frampton, Scott Quigg. My only thoughts on this is a bit concerned with Carl Frampton. His thoughts on Scott Quigg, kind of looking down on his nose at Scott Quigg, saying, well, you know what, you're not really intelligent. Your intelligence is this, and kind of looking down in a very sort of smug manner and looking down at Scott Quigg. And I like Frampton. I've always been a fan of Frampton. Always been a fan of Frampton, to the point where I was rating Frampton and said he'd be a world champion in, I think, 2013. I did an article in the Irish Boxing Review, 2014 review. And I don't like Frampton's attitude for this fight. I really don't. And I'm going Quigg big in this one. I'm a big Frampton fan, but I'm a big Frampton fan, but I'm going Quigg by knockout. Quigg has the chin and the body to go for. I think Frampton, a lot of people backing the Frampton, and I like Frampton, but it hurts me to say I think Quigg wins the fight. Popularity, give it to Frampton. Work ethics, give it to Quigg. Because, you know, if you can come into a fight complacent, you're going to America. This is your big time. This is the opportunity for you to shine before an American audience. And you, in the biggest fight of your career, outside of Ireland, can be ill prepared to fight what you considered a bum. To me, there's a question mark about your mental state. You thought you could just go out there and do a job. That was what Frampton thought. Now he's going to fight Quigg now. He's looking down on Quigg and saying Quigg is not intelligent. He's looking down on Quigg and saying, well, Quigg is, you know, he fights the same way all the time. But you know what? That has one Quigg. He might win him this fight as well. So for me, Frampton can say what he wants. He's a very good talker, Frampton, but good talking doesn't win fights. Just a talker. And fighting in Belfast is great, but he now has to fight very well outside of Belfast in a big fight. And Chico Martinez, great. The fans were all on his side. Let's see what he does away from home in the UK against a UK fighter. We'll have to see. You know, I'm not going resume, but I'm going with Quigg. I love Frampton. I really love Frampton, but not for this fight. Sorry. And the other thing, the corners. Shane McGuigan, untried, untested as a trainer. You're going to hate me for saying this, but Joe Gallagher at British level, has got a very good record at British level. Shane McGuigan has no record at British level. Joe Gallagher has got an immense amount of knowledge and wisdom at British level. So, for me, I'm going with Quigg. I'm going with Quigg to stop Frampton. I just think that as soon as Frampton feels the power of Quigg, he's going to get on his bike and try and run around the ring. That's what I think is going to happen. If Frampton gets classed as chinny for being knocked down, so should Quigg, right? Quigg got knocked down. The difference is, I want to say this, Frampton, Boxing Insight, let me ask you a question. How much do you know about Quigg and Frampton? Their amateur backgrounds. Right. Talk to me about their amateur backgrounds. Talk to me about Quigg's amateur background and talk to me about Frampton's amateur background. Boxing Insight, talk to me. I know that Frampton had a decorated amateur background. He represented Ireland, Northern Ireland, in the amateurs. I know Quigg had very little or very few amateur bouts, if any. And Quigg was learning his boxing as a pro on the job. Whereas Frampton already he was the star in the making. So that's the question. That's my point. Quigg has not got extensive amateur background. So he got dropped on learning the job. Frampton is the established guy. He's the guy that's got all the amateur pedigree and he's done all this stuff as amateur and he was the star. That's my point. Yeah, Brian Hughes also trained Quigg, also trained Robbie Reed as well. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that, Marky. So my thoughts on that is Frampton has been the star from the start. Quigg has basically done it from, the hard way. So he's done it the hard way. Frampton can fight more than one way. Quigg's strengths are coming forward and working the body. If Frampton dances around and uses his main attributes and pedigree, Quigg won't find it easy to land shots consistently. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I'm not so convinced. I think that Frampton is an emotional type of guy. I think Frampton will stand and trade at some point. He's got that machoism in him to have a go and to lose the plot. And I think unanimous. We'll see. Amateurs are amateurs. It's learning your trade. Quigg will cut the ring off on Frampton and get to him, get him into a fight by at least the fourth. Carl has to trade defo. I got Quigg, man. I just think Quigg has too much for him. I think Quigg's just too strong for him personally. I do think he's too strong. I really do. And that guy, that last guy, I thought was like ranked 16 in Mexico. He was basically a bum. He was a bum put out there for Frampton to look good against. That is the bottom line. That's what Al Heyman put him out there for. And this bum basically came out. I didn't say it. That was what he was put out to. It was a showcase. It was a fight for Frampton to look good, and he didn't. Right, I think I've covered most things. Quigg, what's his name? Ortiz fighting Tony Thompson. Good fight. I think it's a good fight for Ortiz because Tony Thompson has just come off losing to Malik Scott, so he's going to be in decent shape. So he'll be in better shape against Ortiz. Ortiz needs to get Thompson out of there early. I wouldn't like to see the second half of the fight because I still got question marks about Ortiz's stamina. Ingram, if Frampton's last fight, if Carl wasn't trained by Shane, all Carl's fans would be saying get rid of Shane if it wasn't Barry's son. Well, I don't see what the fuss about Shane McQuiggan is. I don't. I really don't. I don't. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not convinced of Shane McQuiggan yet. He's done nothing because he's acquired David Hay and Carl and George Groves. Doesn't mean anything. Let's see them in meaningful fights. Let's hear what he says in the corner, what advice he gives. Let's see. He may be the perfect fit for Frampton, but he may not be the perfect fit for the other two geezers. So we'll see. We'll see. So I think I've made enough points. It's just nice to be back on here. Yeah, thank you all for joining in. And hopefully I'll be able to do this a bit more regular again. It's been a while being away. That's what it's all about. What is great about these podcasts, we all get to give our viewers, even if some talk rubbish, we all talk our fish. So guys, nobody even responded or even spoke to me about the stuff I revealed to you about Audrey Harrison. No worries, Andy. Appreciate it. When is the new live show? The new live show? The new live show. The next. Well, try and get it before. We'll try and get one. The next, where the next big bout is. I think we've got Riggindale's fighting soon, so I'll probably do it then. And if I get any news in between that time, will it be? If I've got any other. The next live show. Well, hopefully I'll try and get the next live show with a surprise. That's as much as I'll say to you for now. I won't say what that surprise will be, but hopefully I can produce a little surprise for you guys. All right, I've got it. I'm off now. I need to get to bed. Me talking to you. I'm out. Take care and keep your guards up, guys. Have a good night. It's good to be back.